Ignore the haters, just like I ignore all the liberals.
God, that man is just printing money. Printing money. I'm Tommy Vietor.
I'm Brian Tyler Cohen.
And this is the best of Liberal Tears.
Yeah, we've had a long year of what I would consider a very successful show here, but now we're gonna show you the best moments from the best show.
This time of year, a lot of networks are giving you clip shows. Mm-hmm. We're not doing that.
No,
we're
not
giving
here.
you a clip show of a clip show.
Exactly, and that's what sets this show apart.
That is why this is the good shit. Okay, yeah. Jokes aside, yes, we're gonna look at some of the things we talked about and update them, but we're gonna give you some new stuff too.
You can get some new stuff here, so don't think we're just rehashing old stuff here. Okay, Tommy, I'm gonna listen to the people, and the people have spoken. And our best performing video was the worst Republicans in Congress. So for my first choice, I'm going to go with that one.
Good one.
Oh, boo all you want. And you all keep showing up at the lobbyist fundraisers and see how that goes for you. I reserve.
Do you realize how shitty you have to be booed by Republicans as a Republican?
But he's just like the textbook example of getting ahead by doing the worst thing possible.
And by the way,
terrible.
A lot of Republicans are looking at that exact strategy by Matt Gaetz and just replicating it from, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
If we were protected with security guards with guns, there would be no mass shootings at school.
So that first clip is her harassing a survivor of the Parkland school shooting before she was a member of Congress. The second clip is her holding up a picture of Hunter Biden's penis at a committee hearing.
So things have gotten better. She really settled into the job.
The DCPA says she was vaping. Boebert's team denied that, said the haze was from fog machines in the show. That claim goes up in smoke when you see the video. The theater's incident report says Boebert pulled the "Don't you know who I am" card on the way out.
Where she lost me on this one is, do you know who I am?
I was just going to say that is the last time I would want anyone to know who I am.
Right, yeah. What the fuck? What is she thinking?
So we have a whole cornucopia of the shittiest people in government right there. But one person who is conspicuously absent was Mike Johnson. That's because he hadn't risen to power at the point that we had filmed that video. But of course, now everybody knows who Mike Johnson is. Yeah. And he has, I think, very rightfully earned his spot among the worst people in Congress.
Yeah, I mean, this is a man who shares his porn viewing with his son. So that's weird. But yes, you're right. It was a real poo-poo platter of assholes. All right, Brian. So with my first pick, I'm going to go with something that's near and dear to my heart, which is disastrous press conferences by political candidates. I've been a part of some of them. I've watched a whole lot more, and I love this episode.
Did you hear the question, Senator?
Yeah, that's hard to watch.
Irrespective of your thoughts on Mitch McConnell, which I'm sure we have many, but just as like a human, it is tough to watch that happen. But there have been other unforgettable moments at press conferences in politics over the years.
Yeah, believe it or not, it gets worse.
Gets worse.
So December 14, 2008, it's a press conference at Baghdad with the Prime Minister of Iraq. An Iraqi journalist screamed, "This is a farewell kiss from the Iraqi people, dog," in Arabic. There was a statue of the incident was built in Tikrit, part of Iraq. I read that someone offered to buy the shoes for like $10 million.
This stood out as just peak unforgettable. The guy clearly, first of all, intended to hold a press conference at a Four Seasons hotel. Mm-hmm. There was some mix-up, and he ended up at a Four Seasons Total Landscaping parking lot where he tried to downplay the fact that all the networks called it for Biden by doing that moment where he just goes, "All the networks!
All the networks! Wow! All the networks!"
But that's as if all the networks calling it isn't historically the exact thing that we all wait for.
It's every election ever.
That is the thing. He's like, oh, all the networks have called it. But yeah, that's how it works.
Fox called it first, you fucking idiot.
Hey, Tommy, let's see if you learned anything.
Boy, the joke I was about to do was Mitch McConnell still freezing, and if those had happened at the same time, it would have ended very badly for me. Well done.
Yes, I will do the rest of the show with one shoe on. All right, for my next pick, I'm going to go with dumb Fox News stories, an issue I hold near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Woke M&Ms have returned. The green M&M got her boots back, but apparently is now a lesbian, maybe. And there's also a plus-sized, obese purple M&M. So we're going to cover that, of course.
Here's the thing. I'm with Tucker here, man. I need to be attracted to M&Ms if I'm going to...
I need to fuck my M&Ms.
Buy one a drink, hopefully bring it back to my place. Yeah. So I can't do that if they're not hot.
Now the news that he was raised a Muslim, Barack Obama, raised as a Muslim. This is huge.
This story was aired. It is not true. CNN later went to the school to fact check this nonsensical story and found that teachers were wearing Western clothes. There were Christians, there were Buddhists, there were Muslims. It was just like it was a normal school full of normal kids, but they called it a madrasa because the Muslims happened to attend. But the subtext here was the original OG birther narrative, that Barack Obama was born in Kenya, that he was not a Christian, that he was lying about his identity, and that he was secretly a Muslim. And when I tell you, like, I called Fox News that day and I screamed at someone so far up the food chain from me that I think I achieved orbit. Look, some of the audience, we got some feedback that Dumb Fox News Stories is redundant, and we hear you. And we commit to not abusing the English language going forward or being redundant in any way. I am going to go with, for my next pick, again, back to my heart, back to my soul, back to my roots, campaign-ending political gaffes.
And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
Howard Dean, that's him after the Iowa caucuses. He took third in Iowa. I will never forget watching that clip over and over and over again at our office. It became like mid-2000s pop culture canon. It was the quintessential campaign gaffe in the internet age. It broke through to the whole country, and it was the only thing people could talk about him.
It's 3 agencies of government when I get there that are gone: commerce, education, and the what's the third one there? Let's see. The third agency of government. Yeah. I would do away with the education, commerce, and let's see. I can't. The third one I can't. Sorry. Oops.
And he would go on to become the energy secretary.
Secretary of Energy. That's the best part of the whole story. That guy, though, was the governor of Texas for 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oops.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Look, clearly someone wrote this line for her.
Yeah. No, you don't think that this was Hillary trying to find Charizard in a park somewhere?
Oh, that was a good one. I mean, Vivek Ramaswamy tried to pull a reverse Rick Perry in the last debate, demanding that Nikki Haley name 3 random provinces in eastern Ukraine.
Yeah, that's right.
One thing that Joe Biden and Nikki Haley have in common is that neither of them could even state for you 3 provinces in eastern Ukraine that they want to send our troops to actually fight for. Look at that.
Just when you think Vivek couldn't get any more out of touch, smug, and obnoxious, he drops that gotcha question.
He's like, moderator, you didn't give us homework.
Okay, for my next one, I'm going to go with the lawsuits and failed businesses of Donald J. Trump. Let's see this one.
Since he purchased the New Jersey Generals for about the cost of one of his deluxe apartments, he has created a lot of commotion. He'll find credibility for his team in the USFL, he says, even if he has to build it himself.
So the reason that Donald Trump bought a USFL team is because he wanted so badly to be an NFL owner, but he couldn't get into that club. But because he has such a fragile ego, he had to then go buy the New Jersey Generals in the USFL.
It is pretty impressive to not only bankrupt your own team, but to bankrupt the entire league.
When it comes to great stakes, I've just raised the stakes.
The thing about this blockbuster Trump stakes business he launched is it was discontinued after 2 months. There were a bunch of reviews of the stakes. They tasted mediocre, but they were very, very expensive. And then the CEO of the Sharper Image ultimately said, the net of all of that was we literally sold almost no stakes. So it's like an enormous failure.
Not only has Truth Social lost $73 million since its launch, but the app is currently the 143rd most popular social networking app on the App Store. Not the 143rd most popular app in the App Store, in that specific category. One failed business that was left out that we definitely heard people talk about was Trump University.
Yeah, well, you're an alum.
As an alum, I can't believe I didn't even realize that one. Maybe I just didn't understand.
Shocking oversight.
Yeah, maybe I didn't think it was a failure because my degree has brought me so much good luck.
Fame and success.
Yeah, fame and success. But when somebody who literally can't spell the word stolen starts a university, it's probably going to be a failure.
And Brian, who can forget our episode of Nothing But Predictions about who will drop out first in the Republican primary?
I would like to forget that episode.
These days, running for president isn't really about trying to be president for a lot of these candidates. They want press attention. They want to sell books. They want speaking fees. They want you to tune into their shitty radio show.
The tension of a court show.
You're both degenerates, and you disgust me.
The emotion of a talk show.
Now hold up, everybody. I'm talking over here.
The excitement of a game show.
When Larry Elder became the presumptive Republican nominee in the California recall, he stayed in because he had all the attention on him. He clearly wants all of that attention, as you can see from that clip.
He's a crazy person and a right-wing radio host and a shock jock, basically. He's an open misogynist. He called climate change a myth. He was accused of spousal abuse. He is only in this, as you said, for press and to get attention.
He's going to be so overshadowed by all of the other candidates who have better name ID than him. I think he's going to tire of that pretty quickly, and he's going to drop out pretty fast.
We're joining a very crowded field, as you can see there from that picture.
The thing that I thought was interesting today is that within minutes of me announcing, Donald Trump and the DNC were attacking me, which is a sign that they think I'm dangerous.
So Will Hurd, former member of Congress from Texas 23, he spent 9 years in the CIA. Genuinely nice guy, thoughtful, as you saw in that clip, which I think is a death sentence in this primary. I guess, Brian, the question is, like, who do you miss the most?
Who do I miss the most from that race?
Yeah, Suarez.
Yeah, it was probably
the
inimitable the inimitable campaign of Francis, is it? Francis Suarez? Francis Suarez?
Miami guy?
Although I should note that my first choice was Asa Hutchinson, who not only hasn't dropped out yet, but he's still soaring in the Republican primary.
I call him 47. Fuck you.
You know what? For my next one, I'm going to go with one of the OG liberal tiers because I think that's important to pay homage to our roots here, and that is the lies of George Santos. And this is the perfect moment to introduce this. What with George Santos seeing the end of the rainbow here and dealing with his expulsion from Congress, all thanks to the work we did on this show.
George Santos, allegedly, we don't want to get sued here, raised money to help a veteran get his service dog medical care and then stole the money.
From someone who would trade years off of my life for my dogs, that is, there is a special place in hell for George Santos.
It's funny, I actually went to school on a volleyball scholarship.
You did?
I did, yeah.
With these lies, the whole world is your oyster. You can be like the prince of some island nation. You can hold world records. You can be best friends with like the Dalai Lama's son if he has the Dalai Lama has a son. And instead, you choose to be a volleyball player at Baruch College.
It's like a D3 volleyball school. He lied about his mother's connection to 9/11 in several different ways. At one point, he said she was in the Twin Towers. And then it turns out she wasn't even in the country on 9/11.
This is how you know that he's only Jewish and not Jewish, because you cannot be a real Jew, lie about your mother's death, and then not be riddled with soul-crushing guilt for the remainder of your time on Earth.
Man, what a stone-cold psycho. So we re-record these a couple weeks before they come out. But as of this recording, he has attacked a colleague for domestic violence. He alleged that another's daughter was on OnlyFans.
Yep,
so
and he outed a colleague as well.
Outed a colleague, so he is burning down the place.
That's right. There won't be a single bridge left to get there.
God, yeah, burning the boats, buddy. With my next pick, Brian, I'm going to go with one of the most odious groups of people on the entire internet, right-wing grifters.
There's no better microcosm for the right's obsession with grievance politics and culture wars than Ben Shapiro, who is a grown-ass man, although even that is up for debate, getting mad that Barbie wasn't adequately, conservative for him, good for him.
Did you know he took that jacket from an actual Ken doll? Okay, so Target releases an annual Pride Month collection. So as part of that collection this year, they started selling bathing suits designed to conceal the genitals of the person wearing them. That lying asshole, Matt Walsh, claimed they were selling them to kids. People started coming into the stores, destroying things. The designer got death threats, and this chud decided to go with his boy to the local Target, get some Pepsis or whatever, and cranks out like high-volume MAGA raps and makes cash off it.
It's like the Rebecca Black of right-wing conservative ecosphere.
For me, it's Pac, Biggie, Forgiato. What do you think Ben Shapiro's New Year's resolution is? To get like more mad at stupider shit?
More mad. Stupider shit.
Like what movie?
To get his revenge on Barbie.
Just like rage-quitting video games against his like 12-year-old cousin. Walking out of PG movies.
He wants to make sure as many people get refunds on Barbie as possibly can.
Going to chain restaurants and declaring that entrees are too gay.
Yeah, that's right. All right, for my last choice here, I'm going to go with The Mistakes of Ron DeSantis.
How much time you got? Disney is suing Ron DeSantis for punishing them for political purposes, basically. Trump is mocking him. Nikki Haley is mocking him. Joe Biden made Ron DeSantis a punchline at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. This is going very badly to the point where you're seeing DeSantis allies in the news saying, I wish he would chill out with this stuff. Why is he threatening to put a prison on the Disney property? Like, it all just seems a little nuts. And by the way, everyone loves Disney.
Yeah, everyone loves Disney. They're the state's biggest employer, and it's this iconic American brand. And so these people claim to be like these protectors of American culture, and at the same time going after like Mickey Mouse.
Overnight, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signing a bill that would ban most abortions after 6 weeks. DeSantis quietly signing the law just after 11 p.m., posting only this photo on Twitter.
This is a wildly unpopular thing to do. DeSantis seems to be thinking he can run to the right of Trump on policy. He's trying to take more conservative positions on abortion. I don't think it's going to work. I think this makes him look like a crazy person. He's doing this terrible thing and then trying to have it both ways by signing this bill and then seemingly hiding it by only releasing a photo late at night. I think that this will make him unelectable in any general election.
This was an especially prescient video because Ron DeSantis had actually been doing pretty well up to that point. He was kind of nipping at Trump's heels, and now he's fallen to third place behind Nikki Haley. So it was his race to lose, and he absolutely managed to figure out a way to lose it. He even debated Gavin Newsom, who's not even running for president, and lost that debate too. So things just have gone from bad to worse than that for Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, he's getting made fun of for the way his campaign is managed, his spending, his shoes, his smile, the way he stands at a podium, his face generally.
He's learning how to be a human, but it's not going well.
Not fast enough. Last, but far from least, in terms of how this show has impacted my personal life, let's talk about
GI
the liberal
system.
tier's punishments. What is this?
If you look at it,
Mike Pence.
That's right.
You got Mike Pence tattoo?
And not only is it going to be in any arbitrary placement, it's going to be
on my back?
Right there. Lower back, Tommy.
We're going to eat some pudding like our boy Ron DeSantis. Yes. The 3 is so gross.
Here we go. The things I do for content.
That looks like...
Cheers.
That looks like a President Ashton left for you.
Here we have the hottest chip that exists.
I can't do hot. This is going to kill me, you fucking monster.
Don't worry. We have milk.
I fucking hate you. Oh my God.
It's
We wanted to get you a little Donald Trump doggy costume.
Yeah.
You can wear
Look at
around.
that. You see that?
We got a little tie. We got a little suit.
Mr. President, thanks for joining us. Why aren't you at the Fox News debate tonight in Milwaukee?
Lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. Only get one shot, do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime, yo.
Oh, nice. First of all, when you put the Mike Pence tramp stamp on my back and it remained there for 3 to 5 days.
Yep. It was my pleasure, really.
I went to a tiny hotel gym in New York and I was doing pull-ups in front of 3 people before I realized that they were getting a gander at my Mike Pence tramp stamp. So that was
Look,
cool.
I think elephant in the room here. My punishments were just on a different level from your. I think I took away from the punishments a vastly different just strategy idea MO than you did.
As much as I didn't like eating the billion Scoville unit chip, having to rap would have been much harder for me.
The rap was one of those instances where I actually couldn't watch the whole thing because the cringe was just too much.
I watched it a lot of times.
So obviously it's been a great inaugural year for Liberal Tears, but of the 14 episodes that we've done, I've won 7 to Tommy's 6.
No way.
Rigged. That means that I am the winner of the first season of Liberal Tears, and so in terms of a punishment, I think we're going to let you escape with no punishment for this episode in particular.
Thank you.
Instead, we'll kind of give you a reward, a pep talk as we head into next season. And so in thinking about who would be the best person to deliver this pep talk, we thought about getting your own personal hero in. And so I think we have a message from someone for Tommy.
What's happening?
Hey, Tommy. I hear this season didn't end up going too well for you and the way you had hoped. Well, wipe away those liberal tears and keep your chin up. Losing's just a part of life. My advice to you is ignore the haters, just like I ignore all the liberals. Bye.
God, that man is just printing money. Printing money. Honestly, that was a pretty good pep talk. It wasn't a bad cameo.
Yeah, so hey, take George Santos' words to heart as we head into next year here, all right? So that's it for our final episode of Liberal Tears for this year. First of all, thank you so much to everybody who's been watching, who's subscribed to this channel, and who's made this series as fun as it was.
Yeah, we have so much fun doing this. I can't believe that you guys watch it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
And thank you for voting on these punishments and
Thank you
who
for
wins,
voting.
because that's like the most fun part.
Yeah, subscribe to the channel if you're not. Subscribe to Brian's channel if you want real news.
Oh yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah, there's real news out there
He's
too.
got some really good stuff
Yeah.
over on his page.
Yeah.
I check out BTC's page, but thank you again.
Yeah, thank you, and also just like as a side note, just subscribing and keeping this stuff in everybody's news feeds does kind of help build up the progressive media ecosystem. And we've spoken so much on this show about how important it is to make sure that progressive voices kind of beat down the stranglehold that Republicans have on all of these other platforms.
You're exactly right. Like the Daily Wire is spending like $1 million a week on Facebook ads
Yeah.
to radicalize grandmas all across the country.
Yeah,
All
so-
we got is jokes and you.
Yeah.
So thank you.